watched one of my most recent videos, you'll know that I mentioned when I was getting ready to come to Thailand, I spent quite a bit of time on YouTube. I watched tons of creators. You named it, I watched pretty much everybody. There was one creator that I watched pretty consistently. He put out a video a few years ago. And before I got here, I thought maybe he was just kind of like a grumpy old man. But now that I've been here for a while, I've definitely come to understand at least what he was talking about. That video was about, essentially, if you come to Thailand, you are gonna have trouble finding good friends, real friends. And in today's video, I'm gonna explain why I think he might have been onto something. Now, if you have never solo traveled before, maybe you're getting ready to come to Thailand for the first time, maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, I really don't need to make friends. I'm good on my own. I like time by myself. And I'm not arguing that at all. I'm definitely somewhat of a homebody myself. But if you're planning on staying anywhere overseas for a long time, leaving all your friends and family behind is a big deal that you honestly might not understand until you get to a place where you know literally nobody. Everybody you've ever known for your entire life, everybody that you know, you can trust, is thousands of miles away. So it goes without saying that pretty much no matter who you are, traveling overseas and leaving everybody behind can get lonely. And whether you're a homebody or not, we are all human, we are social creatures. So for us to be happy, we have to have some type of relationships with other people. Now luckily with the internet, that makes it a little bit easier, but it pretty much goes without saying that if you go to a new place, you don't know anybody, you're gonna wanna make some friends. But the fact that you are so removed from everybody you've ever known can definitely put you in a situation where you're making some decisions that you might not normally make if you were at home. Now you've seen the title already, and of course I'm not saying that it is impossible to make any friends in Thailand. Everybody who comes to Thailand is not really a friend. Of course that is not true. But the truth of the matter is there are some things that you really need to think about when you're meeting new people, especially in a place where you're essentially really vulnerable. You're gonna be experiencing new people, you're gonna be out on your own, maybe you're here on savings so you don't have a lot of money coming in yet. So making friends in the wrong places can really be a big mistake, especially if you're leaning into it too far. One thing to think about is, of course, there are plenty of people who move to Thailand to better their lives, better themselves. Maybe they're just coming for a better quality of life. But at the same time, there is a contrast to that. When you're meeting people from all over the world that have left their countries, you're gonna meet every type of reason why somebody would leave home. Now, just like there's people that leave and start traveling for the right reasons, there's people that have left their countries for the wrong reasons. And one thing about traveling is essentially everybody you meet, minus the locals of course, is gonna be doing the same thing. So you have something in common right off the rip. So when you first meet them, you're like, wow, we have so much in common. But if you really think about it, it is very likely that that is all you have in common. You're both traveling and you're both from whatever place. Now let's use myself for example. I'm American, I grew up in America, I've met thousands of people in America, and no matter where you're from, over your life, you kind of learn what to look for when it comes to bad people and good people, or people that you should and shouldn't be friends with probably. So if you meet somebody from the same country as you, it's probably pretty easy to spot. But of course, one major difference when you're traveling is you're gonna meet people from all types of places. So when you meet people from a new country, you might not know exactly what to look for when it comes to, should I really be friends with this person? Of course, some things are gonna be the same, some red flags are gonna be across the board, but there might be behaviors that you are missing out on because it's just something that you're not used to looking for. And a big lesson that I have learned the hard way multiple times is even good people will do bad things if they are desperate. When people are in a desperate situation, 9 times out of 10, they are gonna choose themselves over you. And the thing about meeting people when they're traveling is it's very easy to get into desperate situations. Say somebody left their country because they were on the run, or maybe they ostracized a lot of people in their circles, so they ran away to Thailand, but let's say now they're out of money. The last thing they would wanna do is have to go home and face the music of things that they've done. So now while they're in Thailand, they're gonna essentially do whatever they can to stay here. Even if that means using their new friend, you, at their expense. Since I've been in Thailand, I've met tons of different types of people. And since being here, there's a couple things that I've kind of picked up to kind of look for when you meet new people, to gauge maybe where they're at on this, good to bad spectrum. One of the biggest red flags for me is if you meet somebody and they are constantly trying to one-up you, or they have a better story, or no matter what you say, oh, well, I did that, just constantly trying to keep their ego a step ahead of yours. This is always gonna be a bad thing when it comes to friends, because essentially no matter what you're doing, you're gonna gonna lose if you're spending time with somebody that has a huge ego. If you're doing better than them, they're gonna get jealous and do anything they can to try to get a step ahead of you. If they're doing better than you, they're gonna remind you of that all the time and essentially use you as their peon or a stepping stone to keep them moving. So that's a big one that I always keep an eye out for. And another one, like we briefly mentioned, is anybody that's kind of in a desperate situation. If you meet somebody and very soon in the relationship or friendship, they start talking about, oh, well, I'm never going home, or I don't talk to anybody in my family, or I need to find a job soon, or I'm gonna run out of money. Those are all really desperate situations that people are gonna try to do anything to avoid. So I would just swerve that with a wide berth. Essentially what it boils down to, and the way that I look at it, is if you take away those two commonalities, one, that you're traveling, and two, maybe that you're from the same place, what else do you have in common? If you take those two things away, is this someone that you would be looking to build a friendship or a relationship with at home? Be honest with yourself, and if you're thinking no, then it's probably not a good idea. Believe me, I understand what it's like to be in a place where you don't know anybody. All you want to do is make some friends, have some more stuff to do, have people to hang out with. But I would be quick to say that having no friends is much better than having the wrong friends. Just like everywhere else in the world, there is plenty of good and bad people. So the sad truth is, if you're traveling and you're in a vulnerable situation, you can't really afford to give people the benefit of the doubt until they do you wrong. Because if something bad happens, you let somebody borrow money or they convince you to go in on a bad investment with them, you're the one that's gonna have to pack it up. You're the one that's gonna have to go home. Just be honest with yourself. Does this person actually really have potential to be my friend, or am I just looking for some type of friendship here because I miss my friends and family back home? So just be safe and don't risk what you have going on for anybody, especially if you just met them. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. If you would like to learn more about Thailand, feel free to click this video that's going to be on screen that YouTube assumes you will love, and I will catch you guys in the next video.